This is a breakdown of things that bothered me in Avengers Endgame. This is where I feel like the ruination of Marvel really started. Yes, Captain Marvel was bad. Very bad, some could say. But that could have just been passed off as one bad movie. I feel like Endgame, however, was the actual start of the decline. So, without further ado, let's get into Endgame, MCU's Ruination. So, we begin with Tony and Nebula, after the fight on Titan, stranded in space, playing a game. A fun scene. Tony is recording a message on his suit, and he does tell us it's been 22 days in space. The fuel cells are damaged, and he states he is thousands of light years away from the nearest 7-Eleven, which I would take as thousands of light years away from civilization. Oxygen will only last one more day. It's not looking good for them. Then, out of nowhere, Captain Marvel shows up. How does she know that Tony is here? Not just light years away from anyone, but thousands of light years away from anyone. So, ask again. How did she know where he was? Did she just guess? I mean, space is a pretty damn large area. I know from A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, that's a pretty large place.
Space, it says, is big, really big. You just won't believe how vastly, hugely, mind-bogglingly big it is. I mean, you may think it's a long way down the street to the chemist, but that's just peanuts to space. Listen. And so on.
Let's say Earth was only 2 light years away. I'm being very generous here because he said thousands, but let's just say 2 light years away. If she was off but 1 degree, she would be around
196 billion
miles off target. Now, let's put that into some perspective which our mind can actually fathom. You could fit 2,085 of our solar systems in that space. You could fit
24,810,126
Earths in that space. So, it's a pretty large margin of error. So I'm betting her guess wouldn't have worked out. And this raises another question. Does she move faster than light? I remember them saying in Captain Marvel she does. But this adds many more issues to this. Or to her in general. Would imply she could time travel. Yes, go back in time. So the future part of the movie, not required. She can just do it herself. We'll get to that soon enough. Let's just say she got insanely lucky and found them. And also, she can move other objects at superluminal speeds, because if she couldn't, it would take at least 2 years going from the speed of light to get back to Earth. So, she must go faster. Not even double, triple, or quadruple the speed of light. No, that would take her about 6 months to get back to Earth. All this to say, I don't think they understand how big space and light years really are, or how fast she would even need to move to make this possible. She would have had to move the ship from here 2 light years to Earth. Keep in mind that I'm being very generous with how far away Earth is, in 24 hours, or they would die from lack of oxygen. Let's say she cuts it close and she takes 23 hours and 59 minutes to get back to Earth. She would need to go 490 billion miles per hour. That is approximately 730 times the speed of light. I don't think they quite understand how fast that really is. And again, I'm being very generous on the distance from Earth. She could blow up entire galaxies with just the amount of force she could produce with one punch. This is going to complicate some scenes later. So, let's move on from this opening scene. She takes them back to Earth. Everyone is happy, but Tony is having a little bit of a fit. A fitting fit, but still a fit. They then try and go and find Thanos. They figure out Thanos wants to be a farmer. How cute. Then the raccoon says that he's made another click. Wow, another snap.
Step 4. Now quickly, swipe your middle finger down so that it hits the palm of your hand. At the same time, let your thumb pop up to meet your index finger.
On another planet 2 days ago. How are they getting this information now? Is this planet 2 light days away? Or does the effect of destroying the stones move faster than the speed of light? Is the speed of light just a myth in this universe? Anyway, Captain Marvel says they didn't have her before in the scene, which, to be honest, I agree with the power that they've given her. Literally no one will stand a chance. She is basically a god. She is faster than Flash and Red Bull. But let's continue. Thanos has picked a beautiful planet. I can see why he picked it. They go down and bully an old crippled man, cutting off his arm. They find out that Thanos destroyed some stones. Not just stones, but the stones. The power stones. It's strange how Thanos didn't think about time travel, since one of the stones was literally called the Time Stone, and he used it to go back in time to get the stone that had already been destroyed, literally in the last movie. But he didn't think of that, alright? Anyway, he now has no head, so he hasn't really got time to think about that right now, to be fair. Anyway, next scene. We skip 5 years. Yep, 5 whole years. Nothing important happened in those 5 years at all. Don't worry about it. Cap is talking to people to get them over the snap. Cap has to remind everyone that he did go into the ice, and lol, he's amazing. Bit of a show off, but that's why we love Cap. Then, the true hero of the movie is introduced. The Rat. The Rat that saved an untold number of lives. The Rat that everyone just forgot about. Oh, and also Ant-Man comes back. Straight from his movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I do think that Rat should get an award or something. But anyway, Ant-Man goes and looks at some graves. He tries to see if his daughter's been snapped out. Luckily, no. He meets his daughter. Don't worry, in the next movie, she'll look completely different. And she'll actually become a genius in those 5 years because she read a single book. A touching scene, nevertheless. Then we go back to Avengers HQ. They are being a police force, basically. Pretty good idea. I suppose that they now have quantum entanglement communications because they're talking to Captain Marvel across the galaxy. Instantaneous with instantaneous responses. But it's never mentioned. But I've harped on about space being big long enough at the beginning. So, let's continue. Ant-Man comes around and shouts at the gate to be let in. He tells him he was stuck in the quantum realm and it wasn't 5 years for him, but just a few hours, implying time moves differently in there. So they plan to make a time machine and they go and talk to Tony. Tony says no, he has a child and he doesn't want to lose that. It's fair enough. It's a bit selfish, but fair enough. They then go and talk to Banner or the Hulk because they are now one. Definitely didn't need a movie to see that character work or anything like that. No, just change him and just hope that everyone's happy with it. He agrees to help. Tony then starts looking into the time travel problem because, he's bored and it seems like something cool to do. He figures it out and it only took him a night. So, let's continue to the next scene. The Hulk is trying to time travel Ant-Man. Sounds like a good plan so far. He brings Ant-Man back as a kid, then as an old man, then as a baby. Each time Scott seems to have his memories intact. Here it is. The cure for death, the cure for aging, the cure for every non-genetic ailment. Had your arm cut off, not even a problem. Just reset the person back a week and to when their arm was there and all good. Not just cured. Getting a bit too old, just reset you so you never need to age. Send it back to the 20s. Done. They've just created one of the most powerful and universe-breaking things ever.
Time travel!
My question is, if they use it on a dead person, would the dead person be like brain dead when they go back to the normal body, or will it just reset them to the last brain they kind of had, or had their soul being departed at that point. But that's just, I'm just curious for that part. Oh, Tony's dying? Don't worry, we can just like reset him. You can basically do backups of people like a bloody computer. Banner also says in this scene that it's an absolute win. And it is. They've just cured death. This is a pretty big stepping stone. Next, Tony appears with a fully functioning space-time GPS. Pretty good work for a day or two. I'll give him that. He works fast. We'll get to that in a bit. They then start to assemble people. They go get Fat Thor, and Black Widow goes to get Hawkeye, who may I add is looking pretty badass. Anyway, they then start to talk about time travel. They are running out of pin particles. At this point, it's been pointed out quite a lot already. Why not just go back in time, get some more pin particles with the pin particles you've currently got, and then you've got constant do-overs. Sure, it would ruin the movie, but they seem to want to ruin the movie anyway. They talk about killing baby Thanos. They establish that time travel creates an alternative universe. Got that one out of the way, pretty good. Alright. Then they test the time machine. Tony has not just made a time machine, but also a teleportation pad to travel anywhere instantly. Isn't this what the Creed was fighting for in Captain Marvel? Doesn't this make everything to do with space travel pointless? You can travel instantly between not only time, but also space. Let's say you put in a destination, but you say that you want the time to be now, the current time. You have travelled an unknown distance instantly across the entire universe in a single second. As humans, we have cured death, aging, ailments, time travel, and instant teleportation. Hang on, aren't we just time lords? No, even the TARDIS took some time travel. The only other people to have shown that they had teleportation before us was the Asgardians with the Bifrost. We have now out-teched the gods within a few days. And they have to have special weapons or dark magic to use the Bifrost, when we can just do it with some particles and a GPS. Let me guess, this will never be brought up ever again. Anyway, they send Hawkeye back to his farm and confirms it works. But he does steal a glove, the thief. They start to plan where and when they will go to get the stones in the most efficient way possible. Then they do it. Thor and Rabbit goes to get the reality stone, Hulk has a talk with the Ancient One, Captain, Ant-Man and Iron Man goes to get the scepter and the Tesseract, Blue Chick and War Machine goes to get the Power Stone, Black Widow and Hawkeye goes to get the Soul Stone. Lucky that they went together. Blue Chick and Old Blue Chick, I suppose that's technically the young Blue Chick, starts to have some interference between their brain tech stuff. They get the stones. Iron Man and Cap had to go back a bit further because they messed it up. And the young/old Blue Chick, not our Blue Chick, is sent back instead of our Blue Chick. And Black Widow kills herself to let Hawkeye get the Soul Stone. They all come back. They all have a funeral for Nat. Then they get to work on snapping the snap. Don't know why young/old Nebula didn't do the stuff before the snap, but thank God she didn't, because then they got reinforcements. Hulk does the unsnapping, and then Thanos ships come through and shoots a base. Now the coolest scene in the movie, just give me some chills, you know? It's pretty. Out of all the movie, I enjoy the scene the most. Not because it's a good story or anything like that, just because, you know, you're seeing all the characters you kind of grew up with all together working. You know, it's a pretty nice scene. It's the same kind of feeling I got in Captain America Civil War, where they are at the airport scene. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Captain America picks up Mjolnir. I hope I'm saying that right. And, you know, it feels pretty good. Wanda scene is amazing. He's like, I don't even know you. And then she just like starts just absolutely butchering him. And then they ruined her in all her other movies and TV series and everything. So at least we got, you know, some good scenes from her. And then Captain Marvel comes back in. Well, hey. Captain Marvel is moving extremely slow, considering how fast she can really move. She takes out the ship very slowly. Again, she can move at least 730 times the speed of light. This is insanely fast. She should be able to kill everyone, kill Thanos, and fly the glove across multiple light years in a day at the slowest. So they underpowered her for this particular fight, even though they just buffed her before the fight. It's a good job that Tony made the glove, so the glove can grow to fit anyone. Because Thanos hasn't brought his own glove. No, he's having to use Tony's glove. So if Tony didn't have the growing glove, they wouldn't have been able to snap anyway. But it's okay. Captain Marvel comes and tries to stop Thanos again. Again, going very, very slow considering her baseline speed. I don't think they remember how fast they actually made her. Tony steals stones, slaps back. Tony dies. Cap runs and takes the stones back and stays in the past with his love, but somehow ends back in this universe, even though they said that it would create an alternative universe when they time travel, so he shouldn't be back in this universe. That doesn't make any sense. I think they forgot their own time travel rules there at that point. Now, we've come to the end. I'm not saying it is a bad movie, but I'm also not saying it's a good movie. I feel like there's a lot of problems and a big lack of thought for those problems. It felt like it undid Infinity War, so all the loss you felt and everything like that completely undid. And it just doesn't feel like a great movie. Infinity War was a great movie. That also had some problems, but I feel like this is where it started spiraling out of control. I think the 5-year jump also ruined stuff a bit. I think they could have made a lot of work if you did the first 5 minutes of the movie where it's like the actual movie itself, and then you had some movies in between showing us the 5 years, degrading and stuff like that, and then you do the scene afterwards, so we actually had to live with the consequences for more than half a movie. But yeah, we don't get that. And again, I feel like, in my eyes, this is the start of the MCU's Ruination. Thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed yourself. And, if you have any comments, please do leave them below. And I will read them. Thank you.